What's going on, everybody? God here, and today I want to tell you guys a story. So, I was looking back on some of my old story videos, and I was watching them, and they were pretty horrible. And I know a lot of you already think that about my content as is, and, you know, that's fine. I wouldn't disagree with you on some of them, so, you know, I look back on some of my videos a few months later, and I'm like, man, I really could have improved on that, but that's kind of why we're in this situation. So, I was looking back on some of these videos, and these are like 3 years ago, keep in mind, and I'm just like, man, these videos are not that good. The stories I enjoy, but the videos are not good. The audio's bad, the video is bad. I really want to make these better. I mean, just take a look at this, man. It's horrible.
It's related to math, obviously. Like, there's games that you have a certain probability.
And so here we are today, folks. I'm gonna be remaking, like, I don't know, a handful of my story videos from the past. Most of you haven't seen them, honestly. They all pretty much have, like, just a couple thousand views. For the most part, so it's not like remaking these videos are gonna be like, you know, remaking videos that have like several million views or anything, so you're not missing out on much, or you haven't missed out on much. It's basically brand new content for, you know, 99% of you. But this is the first one I wanted to do it with, and this is the time that I ran a Ponzi scheme in 8th grade at a school-ran carnival for students.
Hey everyone, this is Deep Cyber, the editor of every Optimus video and his worst nightmare. You will constantly hear this idiot refer to what happened in this story as a Ponzi scheme. It really wasn't one. A Ponzi scheme really is only a Ponzi scheme if there are constant supplies of investors coming and being duped in order to pay debts off to another investor. This is often called rob Peter to pay Paul in principle, and since Optimus was just pocketing his profits instead of paying off previous investors, it wasn't really a Ponzi scheme. It was just him being an ordinary arscano. Call it what you want, but it isn't fully a Ponzi scheme. Optimus will fall one day if he keeps these short-sighted failures up.
I look back on this as one of the formulative moments of my life. I can't talk, man. I don't understand why I'm like this. Formative moments in my life, because that's how you say that word. Because I think it taught me a pretty good lesson about why you totally shouldn't do stuff like this. Because I totally made bank doing this. At least, well, quote-unquote bank. I made bank at this carnival in tickets, but I didn't win really anything worthwhile doing this. So at the end, it was all really for nothing. And I risked getting in trouble, I guess. But at the end of the day, hey, I'm here. I'm out of high school now, and, well, I didn't get in trouble, so I guess that was pretty cool. But anyways, basically the Math Carnival at my school, I don't know if your school has these, it was like a school-run carnival where on like the second to last day, they would shut down the second and third story of the school, and they ran like this festival where students would create these math-related games, and they would hold a festival for the whole school to play at, so kids could not only have fun, but they could also get involved with math a little bit more. Kind of a genius idea on their part, but the only problem is when 8th grade Optimus gets an idea of fun in his head, oh boy, there's a lot of problems to have been had. Now, I know a lot of people that I went to school with knew me in 8th grade, and you can mostly attest that I was a different being in 8th grade, very problematic person. I used to have horrible decision making. I'm not gonna lie though, this was actually genius. Like, if I would have pulled this off, man, it would have been the highway robbery of the century. It really would have. I would still look back on this to this day as a championed moment in my life. But anyway, with this Math Carnival, which I actually made a game for the year before, which sucked. It sucked so bad that the school administration actually made fun of me for how bad my game was. I quickly found an exploit that made me a lot of these tickets. Now, obviously, most carnivals operate on a ticket basis. You give them some tickets to pay into the game. If you win, you get some tickets back. Usually more than you put in because, well, it is the American school system after all. They don't really want to hurt anybody's feelings, but, well, Optimus was doing pretty well. He was feeling himself. He caught his vibe, you know, he was stepping up in there. He got his shot wet. He was shooting like 70% from the field. To quote the original video, I apparently was going out like Kobe in 8th grade at this Math Carnival, which I thought was pretty funny. But anyway, well, I was doing well, but then I noticed that there was a game in this carnival that was pretty decent, and it was unattended. Now, most of the games were being ran by volunteer parents and the kids who made the games themselves. Being in 8th grade and had been doing well, I noticed that this game was unattended and had all the materials that it needed to be ran successfully. So what I did was I said, hey, do I want to keep walking around this place with everybody else? possibly throwing my tickets away, wasting time? There's only a few more hours left of the Math Carnival, or do I want to sit down here, not have to walk around this hot school with no air conditioning, and literally do nothing, not have to put any more tickets in anyone else's pockets, and literally just have everyone else put their tickets in my pocket? I think I'll take that option. So what I did was I just sat down at the game, and I operated that game. And the thing is that I was in 8th grade. The games were being operated by 7th graders, so that was a red flag. It should have been, at least. People should have known I should not have been operating that game. Nobody really caught on. Another red flag should have been the fact that the game was made by a female. I am obviously a male, so I had already been up on the day. I was doing pretty well. And at this point, I was just pulling in stupid amounts of tickets. Now, a problem quickly arose because one of my friends, who you guys might know as Wiki, one of the old Discord mods, who I did go to school with, instantaneously noticed I should not have been running the game. Now, he was accompanied by a friend who was oblivious to this fact, and even though he was told not to give me any tickets, constantly kept giving me tickets. Now, they had a lot of tickets, and I just kept willingly taking those tickets, man. Look, he's a good friend, I will admit, but you know, you gotta get a leg up sometimes. And sometimes it's at the cost of your friend's tickets. I mean, you already got like a couple thousand tickets in every, entry into the raffles that have candies, sodas, movies, CDs, all kinds of cool stuff at the end of the drawings. They're only 10 a piece? Do you think morals are coming into play here, folks? Because I don't think so. Well, this kid kept feeding and feeding and feeding the beast. I kept eating and eating and eating away. Well, eventually they almost had nothing left, and Wiki basically pulled him away. And, I kept going for a few minutes, and then eventually a teacher came over and realized that I should not be there. This was a teacher that I historically had problems with, so he was automatically going to be assigned regardless. And, of course, he called into question the fact of why I was at that game, and I, tried to make up a lie about it. And, I was like, oh, well, I told them that I would run it while they went and got something or whatever. And, I don't think he bought it because he told me I had to give him all of my tickets. And, that kind of sucked because I really worked hard. Well, I shouldn't say I worked really hard. More or less, I outsmarted everybody else. And, I lost all my tickets. But the day wasn't over, folks. We still had like a couple hours left. Time was ticking. We were getting down to that 2-minute warning. But you know what? I wasn't out of this one. He might have told me he was going to tell the principal, which, I didn't really care about because I wasn't some little scaredy cat boy, some little wimpy wimp. I didn't really care what he had to say. I walked off. I was going to be the bigger man. And, I walked away, acted like I wasn't going to come back. That fool walked away. I sat right back down. Ballsiest play of all time. I reach-out him, and guess what? Sat back down. And within, a decent amount of time, I was right back to where I was at. I had all my tickets back, man. By time that everything was almost all said and done, I had gotten to a point where I had almost more tickets than I started off with. Now, the problem is eventually people started to kind of catch on. And, that's kind of where the problems started coming through. So, off the jump, people didn't really care because they didn't know that I wasn't supposed to run the game. They kind of just took it at face value, and they're like, oh, all right, I'll give this guy some tickets. Oh, hey, I lost. Hey, I'll give him some more tickets. Oh, I lost. Oh, hey, I'm not going to give him any more. I'm gonna go somewhere else. But when they saw me lose everything and they realized that it was a scam set up by me, they were like, hey, maybe I won't give him anything anymore. Now, eventually, when they saw me sit back down and start running it again, they were like, oh, okay, yeah, he's back at it. Yeah, don't go over there. Now, some kids who hadn't gone there yet did not realize this, and they weren't told by anybody. Mostly, unfortunately, they were the younger kids. This, doesn't sound the best, but like I said, when that box set of Star Wars and the good drinks and the sodas and the candies are all on the line, man, and you're in 8th grade, sometimes your morals, they get a little bit slippery. So I sat back down and I started grinding, man, and they kept walking right on in there, and they started just lining right back up, man. And I lined my pockets once more with that feta cheese, with that fetty. And it worked out pretty well for me, I'd say. So by the time it was all said and done, folks, I ended up with way more than I started out with. And I even ended up with a significant amount more than what I was confiscated with. So just think about that. Just think about that next time. They really tried to stop me. The oppressive government in that school, They saw a young capitalist out here grinding, they saw me on that hustle, they saw me rise up, and they tried to shut down and seize my operations. I came back and I grew stronger than ever, and guess what? They couldn't stop me. By the time it was all said and done, folks, I literally had bought well over, like, probably a couple dozen of the entries into the raffles, and like I said, these raffles actually were pretty decent, at least for like a middle school carnival at the end of the year. Like I said, they had like some board games, they had some snacks and stuff like that, which, you know, kind of low tier stuff. I was looking more for like the CDs and movies and stuff like that. And yeah, of course, these things, they only cost like what? You know, $1 to $15 a piece at your local store, but I didn't have $1 to $15 to go spend at Target or Walmart to get these things. I wasn't gonna do that. This was free. This was free entertainment all day. I didn't have to do anything. I got this at school, folks. So I think I by far had the most entries out of everybody in the raffle. I mean, nobody else from my knowledge ran a Ponzi scheme in the Math Carnival. Nobody to my knowledge hustled so hard gambling that they outdid me. So if I had to estimate, I would say I probably had at least a quarter of all of the entries into the raffle. And you want to know what I won out of literally everything that they raffled away that day to literally the entire middle school? I won a red Gatorade, and I won 2 boxes of candy. I'm still mad about that. It still really irks me to this day that that's all I won. I put in like 4 hours worth of work, and all I got out of it was like $6 in convenience store goodies. And to this day, the first thing I want to do with my next YouTube paycheck is go down to the local speedway and get those things and just step on them in the parking lot. Just to show that school what's up. Because they cheated me. I'm pretty sure they knew something was up. And you know what? I think what they did, honestly, I'm just conspiracizing here. Honestly. I think they knew something was up. Here's my grand conspiracy to tie everything together here. I think they hated me, and I think what happened is when everything was said and done, I think my friend Wiki, and I know you're probably not watching this, but if you are watching this, I think you snitched with your friend on me. And I think that teacher told on me, and I think every single raffle entry that they gave me was invalidated from winning, and I think that they drew every single one of those that won that was anything more valuable than a goddamn Gatorade. I think they redrew it and gave it to somebody else. I really think that's what happened. Call me crazy, call me psychotic, call me Earl, call me whatever you want. I don't care. I really think that's what happened. But honestly, I think that makes more sense than me having almost a quarter of all the entries and only winning a cherry Gatorade and, you know, like a box of, I think it was Lemon Heads and Skittles. Skittles are good, Lemon Heads suck. That's the end of the story. Hey everybody, we're at that point of the video where we're going to wrap things up, and I just want to let you guys know that channel members in the tiers $3.99 and up get to see these videos 3 hours early, so if that's something that really interests you, guess what? Hey, go check out those tiers, see what interests you, and hey, maybe make a decision on that. By the way, hey, if you enjoyed that Minecraft gameplay in the background, which I know a lot of you do, literally every single tier of the channel membership now will have their name somewhere in that city. All of the channel members will be somewhere in there. We're going to make a channel members park in there, and a lot of you will be in there, but some of you might be on a building, some of you might be on a street, you never know. Wouldn't it be cool to have your name somewhere in an Optimus video? That would be so sick, right? Well, hey, if that interests you, it's down below. Anyways, thank you for watching, thank you for supporting. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're brand new, follow me on Twitter, all that great stuff, and I'm out of here. Thank you for watching, and until my next video, this is Optimus running Ponzi schemes in middle school and signing out.